Or does
There you
everybody know the
go.
rules?
Hell yeah, boy, let's go. To my devilish one, may this bring you as much happiness as you have brought me. Best wishes, Kirby. Aw, thank you, Kirby. Chapter
welcome.
6, Author's Note.
Firstly, I'd like to apologize to Kiki. What I said about her in the previous chapter was cruel, unfair, and horribly misogynistic. It was wrong of me to take my frustrations out on her. She was blameless.
Misogynistic?
Kiki, if you're reading this, and I hope you are, I really truly hope you can find your way to forgive me.
What? Why did you forgive Kiki? What happened?
Oh, you wait, I have a plan.
I see.
There's like a sub-story to this story.
I like this. I like this
Yeah,
very much.
My parents are divorcing, and Kiki and Kirby have had a big fallout.
I love it. All right. Nate lay awake in bed that night, wondering about Ayachi and her truth. She hadn't told him about her magical girl history and the events that obviously haunted her. He can't say he was surprised, however. She wasn't likely to open up to him unlubricated.
Oh my god.
He'd have to work his way into her tight, warm heart. He sighed again, remembering her standing on her. She was so heroic in her strawberry patterned panties. He made a mental note to add them to his collection, as they would fine edition. God!
I gotta add them to my collection!
No, you're doing it wrong.
I'm gonna add them to my collection.
Still, the curiosity ate him up and found himself unable to sleep. It also didn't. Right. It also didn't help that it was a loud night. Harlan was snoring like no tomorrow. He'd been told it was a result of a broken nose he'd received back in his gangster days. He groaned, covering his ears with a pillow in hope they'd block out the noise. They didn't. Rip. In fact, it became louder as what sounded like a werewolf began to howl. He groaned again, louder this time, and stared outside. Yep, of course it was a full moon. And of course this school inhabited by demons and magical girls would also have a werewolf prowling about. It was probably Aya, he grimaced. As she's so moody, her period would destroy her humanity and unleash the beast she was. Accurate.
What?
Kirby? That's
Yeah.
very, very accurate. Why? That's horrible.
Very
So
accurate.
It's so accurate, it's horrifying. Realizing sleep was not an option, Nate thought maybe it would be nice to wander around the halls at night. He hadn't done much exploring inside the school, as he was fairly conked out after class. Conked out after class. He rose with determination and slipped on his pink bunny slippers and wrapped his blue strip dressing gown around him. He thought briefly about wearing
Why do I have a
scarf,
dressing
but
gown?
decided to, why not?
Because real men have dressing gowns.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't you know this?
I have a
Duh.
Snuggie.
You have a what?
I have a Snuggie.
Well, you have a dressing gown now. He thought briefly about wearing a scarf, but decided against it, as it was summer and with the werewolf on the prowl, he was unlikely to venture outside. Amazing. The hallway was dark, and so he briefly had to rummage around for a flashlight. Of course, this school didn't provide flashlights, he thought to himself. He did, however, find a lantern and used Harlan's engraved silver lighter to light it. It took a few times before
I
the
just
flame...
stole Harlan's lighter?
Yes. It took a few times before the flame took and Nate accidentally burnt his tongue. What? How did he burn his... How close was he holding it to his fucking mouth?
It's Spitfire.
Sweet Jesus.
He swore in hissing. He was worried he'd woken Harlan up as the gangster briefly ceased his snoring. But after a few seconds, he continued. Nate let out a sigh of relief and decided to go on his adventure. The hallway outside his door had portraits lined up. They were all strange, vampires, zombies, and aliens by the look of it. The weirdest ones looked normal. They looked real, and their eyes seemed to glow as they followed him. As a spoopy school, I love it. He gulped, clearly unnerved. He pondered that maybe they really were real. Students who failed lessons and were trapped in the portrait by Vice Principal Iris. He had goosebumps thinking about it, and despite his best efforts to shake it off, like T-Zwizzle. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Shake it off.
Oh
Shake
my
it off.
god.
But it's more like, I shake it off.
Well, I'm done,
Because-
guys. Bye.
Swizzle.
Come on.
He found he could not. If any school was to trap their students in portraiture, it was this school. Only the other day, Aya threatened to trap him in a porcelain doll before Kirby corrected her. Not because trapping Nathan would be mean or anything, but just to point out that he wasn't the cutest and frills wouldn't suit him. Therefore, her weird voodoo magic would be wasted on him. He was more relieved to be a human.
Thanks, Kirby.
You're welcome. Always sticking out for you.
She's so supportive. I love it. He was
In my
more
own way.
relieved to be a human than he was angry at Kirby, however. Nevertheless, Nathan sped up his pace to avoid the gazes of the portraits and was soon aware that he wasn't alone. He turned his head slightly to see if he could make out the shape, but what he saw did little to soothe him. It was a black, shadowy mass that followed him like it had crawled out from a nightmare. Most things that happened to him seemed to come directly from his nightmare.
Stop. Yuka's a fucking yandere.
Will you shut up and let it happen? God! Ah!
She's stalking me in the night.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm pulling a pouty face.
Exactly. Fuck.
Stop ruining my fun.
Spoiled it.
You guys
Why
want
the
my
bother now?
reactions? I'm giving you my honest reactions. Fuck off.
Your reaction is called spoiling. Ah. Okay. You made Kirby cry. Ugh. Despicable.
Despicable.
He turned his head slightly to see if he could make out the shape, but what he saw did little to soothe him. It was a black, shadowy mass that followed him like it had crawled out from a nightmare. Most things that happened to him seemed to come directly from his nightmares, and he was getting tired of it. He was getting tired of this shit and beginning to wake up. No, and begging to wake up. His fast walk turned into a light, awkward jog. The midnight figure matched his speed.
Yeah.
He squeaked as he turned around the corner. He checked back to see the figure was gone and sighed in relief.
Well, thank fuck for that.
He wiped his
He's gonna
forehead
turn
with
back and he's gonna be right there.
his school-engraved napkin before recoiling in disgust as he realized it was not a napkin, but Ayachi's stolen underwear. Oh, Ayachi's underwear that he had stolen and soiled earlier.
Soiled.
What the fuck? He exclaimed. What the God damn it. Jesus fucking Christ. Amazing.
Kirby, you're a brilliant writer, but fuck you.
Right. Yeah, same. He exclaimed as he threw it down on the floor and tried to wipe his cum-soaked hands on his dressing gown, which now glowed faintly in the light, which suddenly disappeared. He felt breath hot on his cheek that did not belong to him as the lights flickered on and off. He closed his eyes, just letting it happen. "What you doing here, Frederino?" Echoed in his ears. He opened his eyes in confusion and turned to face it. Corin, the fuck was she doing here? He thought as he stared at her intently. She smiled a toothy grin, as she always did, but her dress varied wildly from her usual slutty garb. She was dressed in a black hooded cloak that hid most of her assets, bar her cowboy hat and boots. But they were now dark gray now. Real men can tell the difference between dark gray and black.
Well done, Nathan. You're a real man.
What are you doing?
He retorted in an unnaturally high pitch. Well, I happened to be on a walk, you see.
In that outfit?
He asked, genuinely curious as he gestured to her clothes.
Yeah.
Her eyes widened and she avoided eye contact with him. This was unusual for Corin, and he could fairly easily tell she was lying. And I saw you. Thought I'd say hi.
So you followed me?
Little bit. Nervously and turned away.
Little bit.
I was terrified.
Yeah, sorry about that, Frederino. Kind of forget about these here clothes. I'm not usually at work here. She gasped and clasped her mouth, immediately knowing that she had let something slip she wasn't meant to. Now she was the one who looked terrified. He stared at her again, now noticing the scythe by her side.
Oh, she's the Grim Reaper.
Shit! Shit! It's the Cowboy Reaper! Oh my god! I love it!
Is she gonna start screaming, "Die, die, die"?
This is great! I'm gonna have fun drawing this one.
Have you drawn Sachi in a fucking magical girl outfit?
I haven't drawn
She
anything.
hasn't drawn anything.
But it'll happen, okay?
Still
Just
hasn't
give
drawn me.
time. Yeah, it'll happen! God!
Or me.
She drew you.
Wow, Kirby. Fuck both of you.
Corin?
When and where?
Nathan asked. No. Remembering how Ayachi was a magical girl and Kirby was a goddess, he spent a good while trying to figure out Corin's weird power, her archetype. Yes, friend?
Are you dead?
Maybe. She tilted her head.
Maybe.
She tilted her head to her side and struggled. Raising her hands, which also raised her scythe of doom, Nathan let out a small squeal and wet himself. She giggled and carelessly let go of her weapon, which clanged noisily on the stone floor.
How can you maybe be dead?
He squealed, pulling on his trousers to air the dampness. Okay, you got me. I'm the Grim Reaper, lol. She stuck her tongue out and grinned at him.
How is that funny? Oh, sweet Kirby, am I next?
No, silly, she giggled. I'm on another job. It's a doozy. Want to come with? Nathan thought briefly and shrugged.
Okay, sounds fun.
Maybe
What?
Nathan wasn't as normal as he
How is
professed
that
to be.
fun?
Maybe Nathan wasn't as normal as he professed to be. As a normal person wouldn't consider soul collecting a job, and yet he did.
I'm facepalming so much right now.
Great.
Pixel
Nathan.
didn't happen.
Shut up.
Casper really did not want to go, did he?
Nathan laughed with Corin, obviously finding joy in this. No, they rarely do. But he sure put up a fight, Corin responded.
Are we talking about Casper?
So what did he do?
I know this Casper. I know the Casper she's talking about.
The one and only Casper?
The Casper.
Rest in pieces.
So what did he die of? Casper, you collected his soul. What killed him?
She turned and stared at Nathan straight in the face.
The band.
Her usual her usual tinkle in her eye faded. I killed him. Nathan gulped. His feet were suddenly heavy. Palms sweaty.
What do you mean?
Well, he was annoying, so I killed him.
Well, he was annoying, so I killed him.
She said matter-of-factly, continuing her bubbly stride.
Huh? Just that?
He gulped again, still being unable to move. Isn't that enough? She turned to look at him, with a sinister look in her eyes. She took a step closer to Nathan, who felt the need to run, yet was helpless to do so. He made the women's uncle. He sent them all texts and pictures of his incredibly bad penis.
God.
Tried to play us up. Have one another. And if you feel me, one take no. She moved closer, and Nathan agreed that that was indeed a very douchey thing to do. But still, he wondered if that justified murder. Was that it? Had he just witnessed murder? Was she the Grim Reaper, or was she just insane? He begged his feet to move, to run away from this sexy monster cornering him. But they wouldn't listen to his head or his heart. They only responded to his penis.
God damn it!
The organ that controlled him and was apparently, due to its erect nature, completely unfazed by Corin's slaughter. By now, her lips were inches away from his ear. He was shaking and sweating profusely as she whispered seductively, softly and southernly into his ear. And he betrayed me. No one betrays me. She finished by licking his face and staring at his eyes wide open in terror. Though her eyes lacked kidness, she seemed happy. Now sleep! With that, her green eyes radiated to block out all light, and Nathan awoke in cold sweats to the sound of Dodo's chirping. There's a Dodo at school now? I love it. Another nightmare, he prayed, knowing all too well the true darkness he had experienced during the night.
Thanks so much for Red Wrong. I was so close to giving up, but never would I without remorse. Kept up coming, bitches.
End. Oh wow, Kirby, this was glorious. I love it.
I'm peeking banana.
The question is, did I do Corin proud? Is she happy with her crazy deaf character?
She's probably also
I
peeking
want to know
banana.
that too. What do you think, Corin? It was great. In my opinion.
I always think, like, is this funny to me, or is it just, is it funny to other people, or is it just funny to me? But you guys seem to be enjoying it.
Oh, it was really funny. Corin is one of my favorite characters now.
She just happens to be the Grim Reaper.
The Texas
Maybe.
Reaper.
Was anybody expecting that?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
She's the Grim fucking Reaper. Crap.
Maybe.
How can it be maybe death? I also liked Nathan's character in this because he wasn't just being like, okay. He was like, wait, what? Seriously?
Yeah.
Explain. Like he was being sassy rather than just being
Exactly.
Especially
which is weird because
I can't watch you kill someone, and he's like,
it's also
right.
weird because Corin is his senpai. Why would you be sassy to senpai?
Okay.
Maybe.
Did you like it, Nene?
Yeah,
yes.
you can.